Welcome to Rising, everyone. It is Friday for you. Yes. We're taping this in advance, but we'll just pretend it's Friday. And we had a great Thanksgiving dinner, I'm sure.
Did. And we still have an amazing show.
Indeed.
Today.
Because that's how we deliver. What do we have? Clay Travis.
That's right.
You did an interview with him about China.
Mm-hmm. We've got one of the Divest Harvard students who stormed the field during the Harvard-Yale game. That's really interesting.
Yeah, by the way, they're Rising fans, so that makes us love them. And we've also got a really interesting panel we're going to post for you with some of our favorite panelists talking about Obama's legacy in the wake of a new report that shows that life expectancy has really dropped, something that we think is vital to talk about here on the show and in the country. At the same time, we've got a vital new poll out that we wanted to bring to you all that's highly relevant to the holiday period about whether or not you feel comfortable talking about politics with your friends who may have different political views. Allegedly, 69% of you say that you feel comfortable. 31% say that you feel uncomfortable. I think these people are lying.
Yeah.
They're totally lying.
I get it. I mean, I think you and I have it worse because this is our entire job. And so everybody always wants to know, like, so is he really going to get impeached? I'm just waiting for that one. What's going on with impeachment?
Oh, yeah.
Or like, well, who's going to win the Democratic nomination? And you'll say what you actually think. And they're like, really? I think it's going to be like, they'll be like, I think it's going to be Cory Booker.
I really like Mayor Pete.
And I'm like, I don't know what to say to you.
Yeah. I think Mayor Pete is really authentic. Yeah. And you're like,
and the thing is, like, they don't actually want to have the conversation that we have here on the show or whatever. You know, they just want to have like a jovial thing. So you kind of just swallow your pride and you're like, yeah, you're right.
See, in fairness, though, I really don't talk about anything else. So
I know. I'm like, I have nothing else to say.
I have two lanes. One is my children,
right,
and the other is politics. Yeah. So anything outside of that starts to get a little bit sketchy.
Yeah.
I saw some research a while back, which is why I say that people are lying when they say they feel comfortable, that Americans talk about politics more than almost any other country, but they talk to people with differing views about politics less than almost any other country. That we're like overwhelmingly uncomfortable when we are dealing and engaging with someone who may have different political views.
You know, it's interesting. I talk to a lot of friends who work office jobs, and they tell me that people in like normal jobs, outside of DC, right?
Yeah.
They don't talk about politics at work ever. They don't really it's not really something that they touch upon. It's a very private experience that they might engage on in Twitter or amongst their friend group.
Yeah.
But politics, by and large, is looked at as very passé to talk about whenever.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. Yeah. I think there's two things that I've noticed. One is that in the Trump era, that's changed a little bit. Like I can tell you, as someone who has kids and will be at like the suburban swim practice or whatever, and when the other moms are like, "What do you do?" It used to be when I said, "Oh, I work in politics," it made them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't want to talk about it. After the Trump election, suddenly I was getting a lot of questions like, "What do you think of this? Help me understand this," et cetera, et cetera. I think that's changed a little bit. I also think there's a generational issue here. Like, you know my daughter, Ella. She's 11. Right. She's a little bit unusual of a child growing up in the house that she is. But they talk about politics at school a lot at 11, which when I was growing up, I didn't even know the difference between Democrats and Republicans really till I was in college. It was just not something that we talked about at all.
It's the times, though, and I can sympathize a little bit because the reason I am political or whatever is because I was around 10, I can't remember how old I was, but I was young whenever 9/11 happened.
Right.
And politics was all we could talk about because that was the whole nation.
Right. And that was when I was in college.
There was 9/11. There was war in Iraq. I mean, we were like kids, but still, that's the only reason I am political. I think a whole generation of people is because of when you're 11 or 12 years old and you see something happening. I mean, people are smarter than, kids are smarter than we give them credit for, and they can see what's happening around us just as much as anybody.
Yeah, so I think that may be changing. Maybe I don't know if that makes the Thanksgiving dinners more or less exciting, more or less fraught, et cetera.
More fun for me.
Yeah. We are both of the school of go ahead and engage.
Just say it. Say whatever's on your mind. Start the fight with your uncle. Get mad at your mom.
Just go for it.
It's good for you.
Stay with us. Team Rising is next.